So it's just connecting. Just connect. So, welcome everyone. I am so excited that you're here joining us live for our special week in celebration of my newest baby, my new book, The Ultimate Guide to Sex After Baby: Secrets to Love and Intimacy. So, we're doing a whole week of webinars, especially in these uncertain times. I really wanted to gather amazing experts, people I call friends, colleagues, who all have tips to help us all to create more calm, connection, love, and intimacy with our partners and our families. So I really thank you for joining us. And I am extra excited today because I have Christine Devlin Eck. Christine is the director and one of the instructors at the Center for Sacred Window Studies, an online school for Ayurvedic and postpartum and trusted resource for birth professionals and families. She has a background as an Ayurvedic practitioner, an educator, a group facilitator, and a birth and postpartum doula. And she is also a busy mother of 4 boys. And I love this, Christine, most of whom have been brought into the world using the principles we teach. She describes Ayurvedic postpartum care as truly powerful and transformative, and the missing link in modern postpartum care. Christine lives in Western Massachusetts in an old farmhouse with her pack of wild boys, amazing husband, 2 cats, fish, 1 gecko, and a flock of beautiful chickens. Christine, it's such an honor to welcome you here today.
Thank you so much, Deborah. It's such a pleasure. I'm so happy that it worked out and I'm here.
Yes, always great. And wow, like you have so much wisdom to share, and especially as we're talking all this week and the times that we're in that are uncertain for many, and especially for our families that are birthing and postpartum, on how they can bring that deeper calm and connection to themselves. So I'd love to hear a bit more about you and your wisdom.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you. I definitely feel like I am one of many, many people who are just incredibly inspired and devoted to creating better support for birthing people. And, I definitely come to this work from a very personal place of having gone through having my first child. And it was a beautiful birth, beautiful pregnancy, but then that postpartum time just kind of came out of nowhere. I really was not prepared with what type of experience I could possibly have that wasn't blissful. I really kind of just had these ideas of snuggling with my baby and nursing, and everything was going to be fine. But the fact of the matter is that our culture just isn't set up to support people postpartum. And as we know, when that part of it isn't really structured in a way to hold that new family, that puts strain on not only that birther, but on the birther's partner, on the whole family. And we can just see it sort of ripple out. And I'm really, really motivated to continue to speak out about changing postpartum care so that families can feel more supported and less alone, and partners can feel more united. And I really think that it's so important on like many, many, many levels. And it's incredible to work with the team that we do and the students who come in. It's like, it's a movement. It's a total movement, and it's invigorating to be part of it.
Yeah, and like you say, I couldn't agree more, right? We don't talk enough about it. We don't set up the resources ahead of time, the tools, and as you say, pave the way for meaningful connection as a couple so that they feel cared for, supported, loved, and valued. Can you give some tips like For those that might even be pregnant today listening, what are some ways that we can do that in a system that doesn't really support that?
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news is is that by sort of taking a look at some really ancient traditions around postpartum care, we can actually do so much for ourselves. And I think this is particularly important right now for people who are expecting babies who maybe had doulas lined up or had people, supposed to be coming in, and now they're faced with the possibility of having to do things pretty alone. And I think that this is a message that all of you out there may be feeling that need to hear, that you can do it and you can create a truly sacred postpartum window that's going to nurture you, that's going to nurture your partner, and really create something to sustain you and be a foundation in your life as parents moving forward. So I think that when we look at Ayurveda in particular, and we teach from an Ayurvedic perspective because we're so lucky to have Ayurveda. We're so lucky to have the ancient texts. We're so lucky to have documentation on what this system of medicine says. But it's really about things that you can do yourself, like what types of food you're feeding yourself. So we want to have foods that are warm and mushy and helping to create a stronger digestive tract using like spices like black pepper and oh gosh, cardamom and ginger and turmeric. We
Mm.
want to really recognize that we're quite fragile. We are just as vulnerable as our babies are. And I think that is actually probably the number one, is we don't realize that we don't really realize how much we need to rest. And so I think partners, when our partners are looking for ways to support us, some easy things for partners to do include helping to keep mom hydrated, helping to keep her warm, helping to keep her loved and give her the space she needs to rest. And I think when partners feel like they have important jobs and they know how to do them, then that creates a sense of security and a sense of confidence in them. And so for a partner and mom, we're really able to give them an opportunity to connect with each other as parents, by just giving them information of what are the proper choices that I need to be making here postpartum to get you feeling good, to get me feeling integrated. Um, and I know it's so much to kind of pack into a little talk, but another thing that I think is really important for caregivers to remember when we can't be going into a family's home to support them together, we have this virtual connection, right? So we can give them our time and we can still hold space for them, and we can still listen to their birth story and give both birther and partner an opportunity to open their heart and share their story and integrate it, because it's that integration piece that sometimes gets overlooked, particularly for partners. I think it's hard to really put the magnitude on what it means to become a non-birth parent, um, which is pretty huge too. So I really encourage virtual doula care right now. It's just a way to help support families. Um, but another nugget of Ayurvedic postpartum care is the oil massage, helping to just get oil on the body. And this is something you can do for yourself. This is something a partner can do for their beautiful birther. This is something, a way for them to connect in an intimate way that, is appropriate for these first vulnerable 6 weeks. And of course, like massaging baby together, that bonding opportunity that comes with massaging your infant together for partners and babies to connect. It's really so beautiful, all of it.
Now, when you say oil massage, what kind of oil? Because I'm sure there are people going, okay, like, what are the things? You gave us great spices, which my mouth is watering because I love them all. But now, oil massage, what kind of oil can I use?
You could use simple sesame oil. I like to use it with like a couple drops of lavender in it, lavender essential oil in it, just to make it kind of smell calming and beautiful. There are some great Ayurvedic like oil infused. I know Banyan Botanicals has my favorite, which is like an ashwagandha bala oil. So it's a sesame oil base, but then it has some herbs specific for building strength and and relaxing the nervous system. So that's a nice one. But even, simple, just you could go to the natural food store and get like a nice, simple quality massage oil would be great. Make it easy. Anything that you have on hand too. It's just really the viscous quality of that oil that helps kind of calm the nervous system, provides an opportunity for just sweet touch, because we all know that that touch is so healing and just opens up the heart.
Yes. And I love how you say the virtual doula, because I'm also a birth and postpartum doula. And we never thought of ourselves prior to this time as virtual. But you've talked about so many ways that even now we're connecting today, but that you can support families before birth so that they can be prepared, and then to process the birth and guide them in foods and massage. What other things are you doing with families right now virtually to support them?
Yeah, well, I think we're lucky in a way that our organization is really all online at this point. So we've been able to just sort of maximize on the way that we're already communicating. But right now, we're offering some different free support circles. We have a doula support circle, a pregnancy support circle, and a postpartum support circle. We've got our amazing Nina Komplo, who is doing
Yes.
online yoga classes for prenatal and postpartum. And she's also doing a birth partner workshop. We've got a brand new course that we're literally like throwing together to answer this need of how can these families prepare for postpartum when they're in this place and time. So we're creating a do-it-yourself Ayurvedic postpartum care for expecting parents class. So I think that, and I think also just gathering resources for people right now. It's a very confusing time and things change so quickly. So how does what's going on right now affect birth and postpartum and all of those things, and doula care, like all of it. So we're collecting resources on our website as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. And you have a saying you wrote to me, the giant impact of the smallest moments. What do you mean by
Uh-huh.
that? Can you explain that? Because that's a beautiful phrase. Like I read that from you and I went, oh, I just, took a breath and I could feel that in such a great way.
Thanks. Okay. So my husband and I have four boys. The youngest is 3, and the oldest is 12. And you can imagine that it's a pretty full life, and he and I, um, we do our best to like stay connected. But in these moments in particular, where we literally can't leave the house, and we can't get babysitters and we can't do the things that we do to connect with each other, I am finding it invaluable to look at these tiny moments that we have, whether it's just looking each other in the eye at the end of the day and saying, "How's it going?" or just a hug at the end of the night, or whatever it may be. But like taking those small moments and letting it become bigger so that I can feel sustained in this time when our regular sustained practices for connecting with each other are more challenged. So for me, and I find that really with parenting too, but it's a busy time of life. We're in this most full pitta time of life, if we're speaking Ayurvedically, but with my kids being the ages that they are, and activities being what they are, um, I really like thrive on maximizing these tiny beautiful moments, um, and I cherish them, and I think it's what sustains us all here.
Yeah. And so beautiful. And I mean, your children, you're out of postpartum, although I often joke postpartum is the rest of our lives after we birth our children, right? But
Yeah.
but for those people that really are in those early 6 weeks, and I like to say the fourth trimester, so I think it goes beyond, and even that first year, hearing that is so important, right? On how they can really maximize those precious moments. And so, you know, uh, there may be people listening and, thinking, well, I never heard of Ayurvedic before. And I thought, just now we didn't back into, could you give a description of what is Ayurvedic in the broad sense?
Oh, I would love to. So Ayurveda is a thousands of year old medical system from what we know now as India. It's in short, the way that I see Ayurveda is sort of looking at nature and the universe, sort of this macrocosm, and being able to see that reflected within us as humans. So our state of balance is unique to us. So if we can sort of observe the elements in nature, whether it's fire, water, space, ether, earth, we can sort of observe those at play in their natural balance within us. And so we can make certain decisions in food or activity or routine, herbal support or whatever, to help bring our natural place of homeostasis or balance to where it needs to be. And it's not like this one place of balance that you arrive at and you're good. It's like as seasons shift and the day shifts and life circumstances shift, we're always shifting with it. So we can always have an informed idea of how can I make myself feel better at this moment. And that's sort of how I understand and how I value Ayurveda in terms of my life.
Oh, beautiful description. That was so nice. You included it all in just an easy, understandable nugget. So that was fantastic.
Awesome.
And for everyone that's listening live with us on YouTube or listening later, what would be another tip that you would want to leave them with if they're in that postpartum period to bring more calm and connection to themselves and their relationship?
I would say number one is connecting with your breath. Finding times when you're nursing your baby or when you have quiet moments to just settle your mind and to just pay attention to your breath. To connect with your partner every day by looking super deeply in their eyes and and just sharing a moment, however long or however short it can be, just looking them super deep in the eye and letting them see you super deep in the eye. Um, and for postpartum, drink hot water all throughout the day, sip it all throughout the day. And when you feel like you're supposed to be napping and you can't nap because everyone says sleep when your baby sleeps, and then we feel like we can't get to sleep, um, just do that breathing. Just connect with your breath. If you know yoga, pranayama, then that's what I'm talking about. Just simple nadi shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, or just simple paying attention, and allow that experience of prana kind of coming in and out. That will be more valuable than a deep sleep at times. So know that you will sleep someday, that it will go away, everything will pass, and you're going to get better at it every day. And there's always a helper. That's a good one. Whenever you think that it's not sustainable, there's always a helper.
Thank you so much, Christine. For all that are listening, how can they get in touch with you? What's your website, your Instagram?
Yeah, so sacredwindowstudies.com is a great place to find us. You can email me at Christine@sacredwindowstudies.com. We're on all the things, the Facebook and the Instagram. I think it's Sacred Window Studies on Instagram. But we would love to hear from you, and it's incredible to connect with people who are as enthusiastic about this as we are. And Deborah, you are doing such incredible work, and I just want to thank you so much for your contributions, which truly have like my husband and I were talking about it last night. It's like, remember that movie that we watched when I was pregnant with Joven all those years ago? And it was really impactful for us. And it's such a pleasure to connect with you in this way.
Oh, thank you so much, Christine. It's really an honor. And for all of you that are joining us now or listening to this as a replay, thank you. We'd love to hear your comments. Make sure you write comments in on YouTube as well. We read every one of them. And hopefully, you're going to join us tomorrow, April 9th. Our book goes live, and we are doing free book giveaways over on Instagram at Orgasmic Birth on Instagram. And stay tuned, because tomorrow, for those that purchase on Kindle and come back to our website, we'll be giving you a special link. We have over $100 of bonuses for you. And for every book purchased on Kindle, $2 is going to be donated to help feed pregnant and parenting families right now that really need food on their table. So we thank you for being a part with us, everyone, because together we're making a difference in creating more calm, connection, love with each other, and bringing that to our relationships, our parenting, and our virtual communities now, but in time as we're back out into all our communities. So thank you. I'm going to say goodbye and see you on our next video tomorrow.